For every rapper adored by millions of fans across the globe, there's another whose sound or presence people absolutely can't stand, starting with a rapper who became so hated that he actually switched genres in an attempt to escape the criticism. And even that didn't work. Machine Gun Kelly in 2010. If you told someone that MGK would eventually become one of the most hated rappers in the world, they probably would've looked at you like you were insane, because back then he was clearly on the rise, and although his music was different and plenty considered him corny, not many people would have called themselves MGK haters. Fast forward to 2024, you'd be hard-pressed to find many hip-hop fans who don't throw insults his way. And honestly, MGK has done himself no favors recently. He had a highly publicized relationship with Megan Fox, where the pair discussed sacrificing blood to the Dark Lord Satan in the bedroom together, and generally just had really cringy public antics. But some of the hatred towards MGK goes much deeper than satanic bondage involving his ex-girlfriend. It's also beyond mediocre music and simply being annoying. MGK has a history of sexualizing underage girls. Like back in 2010, when he was 19 years old, he tweeted, "I wish 13/114 out of 15-year-old girls weren't allowed to be so hot, so I wouldn't feel like such a creeper when I look at them. I'm still 19. Hashtag I'm just saying." But that's not all. His overall arciness went far beyond a creepy tweet, cause he was also very open about his feelings towards Kendall Jenner a few years later when he was 23 and she was still very much a minor.
I don't care what my first celebrity crush was, but right now it's Kendall Jenner. And I'm 23, bro. She's 17 and she's like a celebrity. Like there is no limits right there.
However, the worst example of his creepiness came when he went after the daughter of a hip-hop legend from 8MES. That's right, Eminem and MGK were already unpopular, but the final nail in the coffin for his reputation came after he went toe-to-toe with Eminem. MGK released Rap Devil, which received a mediocre reception, and Eminem responded with Killshot, a complete destruction of MGK's music character and reputation. He hasn't been the same since, but that's what happens when you go after Slim Shady. After all, he is assertive hip-hop legend. There are few better examples of beloved rappers than Eminem, although today many people think his music has fallen off. Even his biggest haters can't deny that Eminem is a titan of the hip-hop industry, and his name will forever remain in the history books as one of them. Ones in 1999, My Name Is, and the rest of the Slim Shady LP took the world by storm, and ever since, Eminem has captured the attention of fans around the world. Of hip-hop fans and casual listeners alike, he basically dominated mainstream rap radio from 1999 to 2005. His ability to blend some of the most immersive storytelling and music with some of the most lyrical rhyme-filled tracks ever created came at the perfect time. Hip-hop was on its way to becoming one of the biggest genres in the world, and Eminem's presence was a huge part of that. The authenticity in several of his most popular tracks like Mockingbird, Without Me, and When I'm Gone shines through. I mean, good luck finding anyone that doesn't believe Slim Shady would kill an entire army of men if it meant protecting Haley. His undeniable authenticity, true raw talent, and the way he's navigated the landscape of the hip-hop world have earned him the huge respect of his peers, which is especially impressive, because when Em first started, he was very much one of the first white rappers to flourish in an otherwise black-dominated genre, and he did it in such a way that he respected the culture. He respected the tradition and tried to integrate with it instead of changing it. 50 said it best.
Hip-hop is black music, without question. And unfortunately for some people, it's tough to accept that you got a white artist that does it better than black artists. It's what it is. You know, and you could put either one, you could get whoever you feel like is the best black artist and stand them face to face in a room with him, and he will eat that alive.
Anytime he's found himself in a beef, he's come out on top. His albums are nearly all bestsellers, and he has earned the respect of almost all his peers. Even today, when most of the world will tell you he's fallen off, he still comes through and delivers critically acclaimed hits like Houdini. If there's one thing we should hope for as hip-hop fans, it's that Eminem never changes. On the other hand, there are plenty of artists that we all hope would simply disappear, like this complete clown who at one point took a few shots at Eminem seemingly out of nowhere.
Hey, Eminem, you is lame as hell. Ain't nobody listening to your old ass. You lame as
Dissing Eminem is probably the least serious part of Lil Pump's story. The dude's entire personality, since entering the hip-hop scene, has been centered around trolling. Before 2017, almost nobody knew who Lil Pump was. He was simply another underground SoundCloud artist. But then Gucci Gang happened, and suddenly everyone knew exactly who Lil Pump was, which was unfortunate. Gucci Gang, by all accounts, is probably one of the worst songs you will ever hear, even though it played everywhere and reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. It received brutal criticism from almost everyone. Gucci Gang being bad wasn't anything new though. Boss facts by designer: if it was a Lil Pump song, it was usually safe to assume it was trash. Years later, that still holds true. Pump's sound simply didn't connect with many hip-hop fans, and in plenty of cases, it was so bad that people thought he was some kind of method actor. Meme artist. Despite all of this, he still became one of the biggest names of the SoundCloud mumble rap era, which only made people hate him more. He was basically a tumor. No matter what you did, he just kept growing, and his online trolling never stopped, whether it involved clips of him acting like a complete idiot, insulting other rappers, or getting kicked out of public places because he couldn't behave like a normal person. Fans quickly became tired of Pump. His antics brought him tons of social media views. You could even argue that clout rather than money became his currency, because despite everyone knowing who he was, his albums still continued to perform poorly and rarely received much respect from fans. And in 2023, he was $1.3 million in debt to the IRS. Pump will remain Pump. He will keep trying to maintain his fame as a social media clown rather than a rapper. But while he does that, 21 Savage will remain one of the most beloved rappers to emerge into the mainstream over the last 20 years, because 21 Savage has been completely dominant since 2016, when Red Ops blew up. The song seemed to come out of nowhere, but like plenty of other beloved rappers, if there's one word that can describe 21 Savage, it's authentic. Although he was born in London, which looking back turned out to be pretty hilarious, 21 grew up in one of the roughest parts of Atlanta, and that background came through in his sound and in how he carried himself. When he entered the rap game, his career didn't come without problems, though. 21 arrived during the peak of the SoundCloud era of hip-hop, the period when liking the most popular artist wasn't considered cool, and everyone who was new got placed under the same mumble rapper label. Luckily for 21, he kept grinding. He continued making good music, and eventually people beyond his core fan base realized he was the real deal. Since then, he's remained a mainstay in the culture, and he's one of the few hip-hop artists who still maintains a spot in the global mainstream after dropping the all-time hit Rockstar with Post Malone and later appearing on tracks like Jimmy Cook's. To this day, his place in hip-hop remains secure among fans around the world. With Drake and The Lot with J. Cole, unlike plenty of other rappers, 21 has also done a pretty good job of avoiding drama. He's had a few incidents, like when fans attacked him for trying to scam Aiden Ross in a card game. But aside from minor stuff, he's been quite pretty drama-free. I mean, during the 2001-24 rap civil war, everyone expected him to pick a side, but instead, he simply decided to, well, go to Disneyland. Even though he's always been about that life, all in all, 21 comes across as one of the most genuine and friendly artists in hip-hop, which is interesting because this next rapper is the aim to 21 Savage's young. He pretended to be a gangster, he pretended to be about that life. And in the end, 69ine exposed himself as a complete fraud, because now he's one of the most well-known snitches in hip-hop. And that's far from the only reason 69ine is one of the most hated artists, not just rappers. Alive, 6ix9ine's career took off with Gomo, one of his most successful songs ever, exploded online. The video for the song quickly became very popular because of how unique it was. You had a dude with rainbow hair throwing gang signs, seemingly surrounded by bloods. Within a few months of it going viral, it had already collected millions of views, and 69ine was well on his way to becoming one of the most popular rappers alive. And by popular, I mean popular not like from the very beginning. 69ine rubbed plenty of people the wrong way. Like many other rappers from his era, he was a troll. He constantly talked crap online and managed to land himself in plenty of beefs, most notably one that quickly turned violent with Chief Keef.
Chief Keef, Lil Reese, all them niggas.
But that's only the beginning, cuz beyond the beefs and the trolling, Six also had skeletons in his closet. It didn't take long for people to dig into his past after his blow up, and what they discovered was simply disgusting. In 2015, he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of use of a child in a sexual performance without going into vivid detail. 6, and another man took advantage of a 13-year-old girl, and throughout the incident 6 recorded it and later used the footage in a music video. As any reasonable person could imagine, this angered a lot of people, but somehow S still managed to hold onto the spotlight for years before mostly fading from relevancy by releasing music people didn't care much for and pulling off stupid stunts like running down his driveway with an AK-47 online. But 6's ultimate downfall came after his infamous snitching situation. Long story short, even though he wasn't and never had been a real gangster himself, 6 definitely associated with real gangsters to make his image look more legitimate to people within the culture. That association eventually led to him getting caught up in the notorious trial of the Neen Trade Gangsters, a RICO case, where he and the group he was connected with, the Neen Trey Bloods, were hit with numerous felony charges, including weapons possession, racketeering, drug distribution, and conspiracy to commit murder. During the case, if he received the most severe punishment 6 was facing was a life sentence, and since he had created an image of himself as some sort of hardened gangbanger online, he must have held it down right. We all know how that went. Rumors started to slip that 69ine had snitched on his 12 other co-defendants in the case to escape his prison sentence, and once he was fully released, those rumors were confirmed. From that moment on, everyone hated him. Even his loudest defenders wouldn't stand up for a man that broke the code he wrote music about for years, the one he pretended to live by. After his release, 6's career flourished for a while. He took the approach of trying to feed off the hate that everyone was giving him, which of course just led to temporary success and more hate. His most recent highlights are getting jumped at in LA Fitness and having an international warrant for his assault, a big fall from being one of the fastest rising stars in hip-hop. 6's longevity was non-existent, and at this point he has little to no respect from his peers or his fans. Snoop Dogg, on the other hand, he was and still is one of the most loved artists on planet Earth, not just rappers. Artist Snoop is a bona fide legend. His tenure in the game and his resume and music are unmatched, but love for him goes far beyond his musical achievements. His personality and character have made him a mainstay in pop culture for decades, and even today, at 52, Snoop remains relevant. When Snoop originally burst onto the scene in the 90s, his relaxed delivery and flow immediately set him apart in the booming West Coast rap movement. Several of his biggest hits, like Gene and Juice and What's My Name, quickly established him as a legend in the hip-hop scene. Beyond that, his easygoing personality and love for Gone simply shine through in a world full of industry plants and celebrities. With carefully crafted public appearances, Snoop Dogg remains himself, and he's been that way since the very beginning. Snoop never takes himself too seriously, and he's become an entertainer first and rapper second. Fans online have talked about how Snoop feels like one of the only genuine ones left, and how he often comes off like someone who could be an old friend rather than a celebrity from a completely different world. With the unique ability to always adapt over the years, Snoop went from a West Coast gangster rapper to appearing on Katy Perry songs, creating reggae music under the name Snoop Lion, and even Twitch streaming.
Look at this shit.
For a man who came up in the 90s, Snoop's cross-generational appeal is undeniable. Kids born in 1960 know who Snoop is, and kids born in 2010 are equally familiar, whether it's him yelling into the microphone at YouTube boxing fights or making fake social media posts about beating his lifelong marijuana use. Everyone will always love Uncle Snoop, and they have reason to. But Blueface, our next rapper, hate for him began from the very moment he entered the game, because unlike most people who blow up with great music, Blueface's breakout hit was a song where he didn't even rap on beat. Yet between songs like Thoshiana and Respect My Crippin', people weren't sure if Blueface genuinely just sucked or if it was all some elaborate joke. Nonetheless, he had fans, but as time passed, it seemed like he did everything possible to make sure that he lost every one of them, because like many other artists hated by almost everyone, Blueface stopped trying to be an artist and instead switched lanes to become a social media star, and after that failed, he switched lanes again to OnlyFans. Although Blueface was disliked before starting Blue Girls Club, the impact the show had on his reputation is undeniable. Blue Girls Club was a reality TV show on steroids. It could basically be described as Blueface recording several women all living in one house and making sure that every day became a living hell. The show put Blueface under serious fire because of the alleged living conditions of its contestants and other allegations of misconduct during filming that quickly caused controversy among fans. Living conditions of its contestants and additional allegations of misconduct during filming the show is also where he met Chrisean Rock, an ex-college athlete turned disaster. While the show was being filmed, Blueface and Chrisean hit it off and began their extremely public disaster of a relationship. Its highlights include Blueface posting about cheating on her publicly, almost everyday videos surfacing of him physically abusing her, and the two arguing in front of cameras on an almost daily basis. But not only was he considered a talentless rapper and a terrible boyfriend, Blueface also found himself in beefs with Soulja Boy, Offset, and NLE Chopper. As of right now, Blueface's name hasn't been heard in years outside of drama with Chrisean, his now ex-girlfriend, and the mother of his child, along with legal proceedings, because right now he's simply sitting away in a jail cell from assault charges. Those charges stem from a case back in 2021 when Blueface and 3 other men were accused of jumping a doorman at a club. So talentless, a terrible boyfriend, and an all-around deg and a coward. I guess it's pretty easy to see exactly why Blueface is one of the most hated rappers alive today. If you enjoyed this video, we've got another one for you right here.